if you're seeing this when there is a 3, a 6, or a 9 in the time, or there's a number of greater significance to you in the time or on the screen, then this could be for you. Or if you have touched a dandelion in the past 48 hours. Extra points if you're within arm's reach of a dandelion, or something with a dandelion or a yellow flower on it. This could be for you. Or if you've had cardamom, sage, or you've smelt vetiver in the past like 18 hours, this could be for you. The amount of synchronicities you had lined up can correspond to the amount of which this is for you. But we do this here for what now? For funsies, and heavily for the ASMR. So don't take any of this too seriously. By the way, if you have found yourself being in some kind of sunlight that you're not normally in, so like whether this is like you don't normally catch the sunrise, but recently you've caught the sunrise and it's been kind of nice, or you're not normally outside while the sun is setting, but you recently caught just a beautiful sunset, this could be for you. And also, this new time you're out in the sunlight is going to be helping grow some beautiful things in your life. It's also it's going to be helping you kind of like open new little mind pathways. So whereas you might not have like seen much growing, you've definitely got roots that are being like created at the moment. That's going to help you absorb a whole new set of information, inspiration. Ooh, Angelica. Do we have some Angelicas in here? Oh, that'd be crazy. Angelica's sound off. Also, there's a fly in here. I'd like to say I'm not superstitious, but I am. So we might have some people in here just being nosy. Who's in here being nosy? If you're in here being nosy, guess what? This could be for you. That's for a much smaller group of y'all. But ooh, lean into your soul's pull and listen to its whispers to nurture yourself. You might have been recently sleeping a lot and you're like, why am I sleeping so much? But I still feel so tired, like I'm resting. Some of y'all haven't been, some of y'all have not been getting your sleep, but a certain group of y'all have been like, I'm resting, I'm like chilling, I've been laying on the couch, scrolling about. That might be resting your body, but not your mind. And you can get much more prone to ADHD paralysis when you don't let your mind rest, and when you're filling that silence of the void with too much chatter. Thoughts are great, but it seems like they're, the scrolling might be good to take a step back from scrolling for the next 4 days. You got some inspirations coming in here with this new light time. So like when you're finding yourself out under this light in the sunshine at a different time than usual, definitely make sure to just like don't pull out your phone. Let yourself just chill and listen and watch and observe. Okay. This is gonna really be helping you kind of get unstuck too. Like whether you're like got some kind of like you always have to be on your phone. This time in this light is really gonna help you kind of like get a little bit unstuck from those habits you've been not super intentionally engaging with. What else is up? Any juicy deeds? or just surrounding yourself with a bit of more orange than you normally would. Maybe sitting with some orange flowers. Maybe painting a canvas orange. Maybe crocheting with some orange yarn. Maybe you need to eat an orange. When's the last time you had some vitamin C? Ooh. I love when this card comes out because y'all are my favorite. Who this card comes out for. Not everything is what it may seem. Bring yourself back from all time and places as a new perspective can be seen. Okay. I have to pop my... So, with this, it definitely feels like maybe a bit of like reminiscing, some like being just really angry about some past circumstances to the point where you're like still kind of living in that mindset, like it's like happening to you. Maybe you're having nightmares about something that happened to you. That sucks, but bringing yourself back. Try and set something intentionally to remind yourself when you are, like, you know, because you might just kind of get stuck in that loop of, it feels like some kind of like anxiety, like that, or some kind of like coping mechanism that used to really suit you back in this time period when you were like living that like day to day. But it doesn't seem like it's suiting you anymore. So let me get a little more deets. We want you to be living the life you want to be living, having the thoughts you want to be having day to day, gardening that little mind palace for yourself, and planting the flowers you want to see grow. Letting the plants that are not doing you good right now, letting them die away. Sometimes it's sad because it's like, man, this person really liked that plant though, but you know what, that person's not you. So you don't have to keep nurturing what's not suiting you anymore, okay? We got kitchen witchery. Abundance flows easily and effortlessly into your life. Be in gratitude. Okay, gratitude is really gonna help you pull out of these like old habits. It seems like there's some kind of new habits you'll be picking up, whether this is like cooking or baking more, that are really gonna also help you pull out of these older habits or this older way of thinking, these older coping mechanisms. This is really going to help you pull out of it because the time you're spending thinking about these other things is quickly going to be taken up by this new little project, this new little endeavor. And the more you're practicing spending your time in your mind where you want to, you know what I mean? Jelly bean, we talk about this a lot, but like, your mind is a little garden and a stew. If you've been at it, your mind is a lot of things now, okay? Your mind's everything. But let's take this in the aspect of the stew, okay? Are you adding spices because it's what you think other people around you are gonna like and prefer? Or is your stew entirely made up of things you like and prefer? You love the aroma of, you love the taste of, you love the way it feels running down your throat. We got some weird friends in here. Okay, some of y'all collect some bones or some very peculiar items. We love it. We love a trinket, bestie. It seems like you're going to be coming across a trinket, or you came across a trinket in the past 3 days that you're like really like, and you feel like there's like something to your like, some kind of like weird nostalgia to it, you know what I mean? I think that's because you're going to be pulling some kind of inspiration from it for something. So you've got that nostalgia because, like, you know, time, our minds can mix up time, and when we see something that's going to inspire us and it's got that weird nostalgia, it's like, why do I feel like a weird deja vu right now? Why do I feel this weird nostalgia? Because your soul knows it's going to create something out of the inspiration of that object. You know what I mean? So some of y'all are going to be coming across some kind of little trinket in the next, like, some of y'all it's 3 days, some of y'all it's a week. Maybe this weekend you're gonna go thrifting or to an antique store or something. This object is not going to have much of a practical use other than it triggering some kind of nostalgia and ultimately leading to some kind of inspiration for something you're gonna be creating here pretty soon. So when you come across this thing, you might be like, oh, but do I need it though? Do I need it though? Your soul's gonna know yes, but you might have some judgmental lips about whispering, do you need it though? Yes. Bam, you got your free pass for your trinket for the week. We love it. If you already found your trinket, let me know what it is. If you haven't found your trinket yet, but you find it within the next week or so, come back here and tell me what your trinket was. What else do we got? Any juicy specific deeds? I guess that was a pretty juicy specific deed, but something about allergy. If you have allergies to something, just like, this could be something like, maybe you're lactose intolerant, and you're like, you know, I think this ice cream's gonna be fine this week. Find a different snack, bestie. This could also be like some kind of nut allergy. Just be like, don't be, you know, make sure you're checking the ingredients this week. Indulgence and flora. Oh. It's time to escape all of the noise and become still with the guidance that is pulling you inward. And you also had indulgence reversed here. You are worth every desire, every dream. Demand what is yours. Demand what you need. Okay? You need to take some time to yourself. Okay? What is this? This could be, you know, when you're going to that antique store or the thrift shop. That whole trip in general, you might be, you know, you might be thinking, oh, what's the point though? Do I need to go? But first off, you're going to be finding this rad trinket that sparks some kind of weird familiarity. And second, it seems like you just need a little bit of headspace right now, and a little bit of spending time some other places. You know, when you're out and about looking at different things you don't normally look at throughout the day, it really sparks some new neural pathways. So, if you ask me, thrifting's good for you, for your neuro. But also just seeing some different things. Maybe you have some kind of garden in your community somewhere, some little flower garden or something. You have quite a lot of flower cards up in here. Quite a lot of flowers in your cards. It was the escape card that escaped, by the way, if that means anything to you. It's time to escape all of the noise and become still with the guidance that is pulling you inward. And then this this was like your second card out. You might be finding a lot of inspiration in plants, or a lot more connection to plants coming up here soon. Whether this is like you just got a new house plant and you're really appreciating watching it grow every time it puts out a new leaf. Maybe you're propagating some plant, and for some of y'all, you forgot about the propagations and you're like, oh yeah, I wonder if they have roots yet. You're gonna go and be like, oh my gosh, they have roots. Or some of y'all are watching the roots form and you're just really appreciating it. Yeah, we got some nature besties up in here. A pinch of this, a dash of that. Be sure you're sure before you call. Okay, we got some potential jumping to conclusions, making assumptions. Maybe you have some people making assumptions about you, and you like recently heard it from someone. Don't worry about it. Let them make an ass of themselves, alright? You're not gonna be out here making an ass of yourself, making assumptions now, right? Right. Break free, dear one, spread wide and far, for you aren't contained. You aren't limitless. Okay. Hold up, I want to see. For this next piece is for whoever really likes the color purple. If there's someone who would like consider one of your favorite colors purple, this next bit is for you. There's something that you're playing too small in. Like maybe you don't have like very big expectations for something you're working on. You're like, it is what it is. Like, I'll make it. We'll see. Something of yours is gonna blow up, like in a really good way. Whether this is like gonna blow up some new pathway for you, I wonder if this has to do with some new capabilities of yours are gonna be like coming out here very soon. So it seems like there's something you feel unqualified in right now, or maybe you don't even know this thing exists, and that's why we're dropping things. That's why you have been like working in more of like a limited point of view. But I'm excited because something is gonna be like really surprising you with how well it does. Aromatherapy. And okay, your aromatherapy this week is really gonna help you get present. So if you've been a little bit daydreamy, a bit dissociative, a bit, your mind is wandering to places you don't even prefer to hang out in, aromatherapy is gonna do you good this week, okay? And it's also gonna help you create a bit of a habit of keeping something aromatherapeutic with you. Some kind of oil, lavender, sandalwood, whatever helps you feel grounded. Maybe you'll be discovering a new scent when you go out and do your little thrifting adventure. Maybe you'll stop by a little locally made soaps or products type of thing, and you find something that you particularly love the smell of. It helps you feel grounded. Wow, I'm really dropping things this week. Do we have any baristas up in here? Just be careful with your hands this week, okay? Make sure all your lids, this part doesn't have to be just baristas, but make sure your lids are really tight, like they're on there before you shake something up. Okay? Here in the unknown, you will find the essence of who you really are and what magic awaits. Okay, yeah. Definitely getting yourself into some kind of like unknown territories. Again, going to a new thrift store you've never been to. Maybe you're like, oh, I'll go to this one because I know what to expect. Try a new one, jelly bean. That's a very specific scenario, by the way. But it's more than just that, too. Okay, my hair's tickling my face. Maybe trying and doing your hair a different way this week. Maybe you've been thinking about cutting your hair and the only thing stopping you is because you don't know how you're going to look with it, because it's just not something you've ever done with your hair. But you really want to. Your soul's like, I think that would make me feel so much lighter and inspired. Literal weight off your shoulders. Stepping into some new territories, some unknown territories. It's gonna definitely be helping whatever that is, like, that you're creating, that you're not really expecting to see much from. That's what's gonna really pop it off, bestie. That's what's gonna really pop it off. Maybe this is, I talk about this a lot, and I don't know, we must have quite a few content creators here, because it always comes up. If you're a content creator stepping in the unknown, this next week, challenge yourself to post one thing a day that you wouldn't normally post. Maybe you just want to start off like once a week or twice a week. You know, the amount, that's up to you. It seems like the amount you put in is like how fast you're gonna see some kind of like something come back from it. But definitely, if you want to tip your toes, go ahead. But I'm excited about this. Okay. I'm pretty excited about that. What else do we got for you? Any juicy specific deets? Something's gonna be like okay, yeah. When you're stepping into these new territories, you're gonna need to be confident in yourself. You know how we talked about before, making sure the lid is tight on there before you shake it up. Make sure you're confident in yourself before you shake it up, because I also feel like, you know, I think that you shaking it up is also gonna help you feel a lot more confident, a lot faster in yourself. But it can also, if you shake it up before you're confident, you might waver a bit and be like, oh, I don't know about this. You might have a little bit of anxiety. Okay, so step in these new territories with excitement and gratitude for the ability for you to step in these new territories, because you're not, like, whether you're a content creator, an artist, whatever, you don't have to stick with what you've been doing. Nothing's saying that. You are able to step into whatever territories you're glancing over at. You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? So definitely step into it with confidence and just gratitude and I'm just happy to be here type of vibe. You know what I mean? I'm just happy to be here. So that you don't get like some kind of you don't get scared and go back into your hole. You know what I mean? Be like, okay, I'm never trying something new again. Gather in power, come together in grace. Unity is rising, and all will be embraced. Oh, cutie patooties. This stepping out into these new avenues is going to be attracting some people pretty quickly into your life, pretty quickly after starting this, whatever this is, up. to be coming across a lot of other people's paths too that you like had no idea they even existed before, and now you're like, oh my gosh, I freaking love your vibe. I like what you got stewing up here. I like that it's got a unique flavor. A unique flavor. What's that? I can't quite pinpoint it. Some of you, this next week, this also could be like style related. Like maybe you have some things in your closet that you never wear, but you're like, I do like them though. Maybe try wearing them this next week. Maybe while you're out thrifting, you find something you're like, I really like this, but this is not cottagecore fairyland Y2K. Don't worry about labels, okay? Let yourself step out of them. May you be reminded of the altar within, where the truth of your magic holds all that you seek. Okay, little exercise for you if you'd like. Your mind is magical. You deserve to live in that little magical mind of yours peacefully and whimsically. Whenever you have the time, or whenever you feel just like you need to do something for your soul, close your eyes, sit in a nice, safe environment. Even if you're not, cultivating this at first, it's definitely important to like let yourself feel safe and like you're in a safe space so that you can cultivate that sense of like peace. But eventually, and some of y'all have been, but maybe you haven't been taking it to like when things get chaotic, taking a step back, closing your eyes, building that beautiful, whatever it is, that beautiful mind garden for yourself to sit in. Do you hear any trickling water? Is the water sparkling? Do you hear any birds? Are you surrounded by plants? Are you sitting on the most perfect little bed of moss while all the fireflies flicker about and singing little songs of inspiration and comfort and just happiness to be with you in your presence, and just happiness that you showed up to your little mind garden that day? You know what I mean, Jellybean? Gratitude, sitting in that gratitude, like, I have access to my mind every day, and every day I can close my eyes or keep them open and find my connection to my little haven. What does my haven look like? What does it feel like? The visuals might change, but the feeling might stay about the same. Sometimes the feeling might feel a little bit deeper and you'll feel a little more connected to it. Sometimes you have to really sit and conjure up those vibes, conjure up that feeling. But the more you do so, and the more time you intentionally set aside to let yourself create that heaven around you, the easier it's gonna be to connect to that space when it's chaos around you in this physical, okay? So, you don't have to have a physical space that feels or looks like heaven to you. You can close your eyes whenever. If you're in a spot that's like not very comfy, or you can remind yourself of that space whenever. So don't forget. But definitely, if you haven't been kind of cultivating that space, kind of letting yourself imagine and just make just the most, only you know truly what your little haven is like, what grows there, and how you act there. Okay. Something had an end recently. Oh. Some of y'all might have lost an elder recently. This is for a smaller group of you. Some of you had an end recently, whether this is like your changing jobs, or maybe you just graduated, so some way of life is not really going to be like in your reality anymore. It seems like you're going to be able to step out of this pretty quickly, so don't worry too much about like, oh man, is this gonna like make me sad for a really long time. Something's gonna be coming in here that's like, you know, this plant, this plant. You're really connected to plants, I feel like. Don't drink all of life from one flower, for there are many to taste and many to explore. This really, for most of you, this doesn't feel like an elder you recently lost, but maybe it's some kind of belief an elder had that never really sat right with you, but or something you just like did because you know an elder who did it, and so you're like, well, I guess I'll do it now, just like kind of like, this is all really indicative of like what we had before, like something's coming to an end, so you are going to have to kind of sip some nectar from some new flowers. Maybe some of y'all maybe that's why like you have to find a new thrift shop. Maybe like a thrift shop or one of your favorite shops closed recently. Now you gotta try something else. It's a lot of different scenarios for y'all, but you know, there's something that is really, you got welcoming the harvest here after all that. Some kind of new flower you're gonna be sipping the nectar from is gonna taste so sweet and unlike any nectar you've had before. So instead of getting too stuck in whatever it is that can't be in your reality anymore, let yourself brew up something new and delicious. Ooh. You're gonna have some kind of like desire when it's raining. Like maybe you're like, ooh, maybe I want some tea right now. Make yourself some tea. Add all your little magical intentions to your tea as well. Maybe it's raining when you're like, ooh, I want to go to the thrift store. Go for it. You got bewitching, yes it be. Blink and you shall see a bubbling desire left in the brewing rain. Ooh, also some of y'all might have forgot some if you were like sitting outside and you left something out there that could get rained on, mayhaps. Go get it. Go get it. You might have a storm of brewing. Oh, what's this? Oh, we've got some of y'all have family in Irish lineage. This is for a much smaller group of y'all. And then with that elders before that. May you feel nourished in all ways as a turning of luck is coming. Thy love is present in the presence of thee, a comfort veil that warms the heart and hugs the soul. Some of y'all might be grieving some elder family you've lost, but you also have embodiment here. Maybe you're like trying to like be like, oh, this elder like would have really liked this, so I'm gonna do this or that, but maybe you're like holding on to some like physical things because it was an elders of someone passed, or wishing you had like more time with them or something. But if this is the case, like the most precious thing that's from them is you. You know what I mean? Like your blood's running through your bod. Like partially because of them. They're hyped you're here doing your thing, exploring new things. They want you to explore new things. They think it's rad that you've taken interest in some of their things too. But they're also like, yo, you got time now. You can try some new freaking things. They're hyped for you to try these new things too, because they want to like see that process and see the smile that grows on your face when you indulge in that process, okay? And you discover some new things they didn't really get the chance to. Ooh. Journey. Tools. You have some tools that you are like, wait a second. Is that another? Hold up. You have two unicorn skulls? I don't know how many are in this deck, but I can't imagine there's more than 2 cards with the unicorn skulls. You have some kind of knowledge somewhere that is not regular. You got some kind of like, or some kind of like hunger for this like irregular knowledge. What is this? I mean, it's different for a lot of y'all, but for some of you, you have kind of been like not really acknowledging that in your toolbox. Okay, so maybe acknowledge the things that you know or you're interested in or you have a hunger for learning about or talking about. Maybe, like we said, we got some content creators. Maybe just saying, just, you know, don't take those for granted, for sure. It seems like some of y'all, like, you have this knowledge from, like, maybe from your lineage, or maybe, like, your family, like, this was, like, some kind of work your family did, or you learned this from growing up around a specific person. You definitely got some kind of, like, I don't know. Yeah, okay. You might be the kind of person who feels like they're not super great with their words, or you don't have a lot to talk about, but unless it's like with your specific interests, you know what I mean? Then you can talk about it for a long time, so just take note of those. If you haven't really been utilizing that tool, you haven't really been sharing it or talking about it with people, just like take note of those, because that might be something coming up here that really helps you get excited about expressing and helps you also feel confident in it is what it is you're expressing, and confident in your words. It feels like we might have had like a little bit of a clunked up throat chalk, or maybe some of y'all were sick or had a sore throat or something, but it also really feels like you feel like you don't have much to say except for in some specific areas, because you got some weird kind of like unusual knowledge. Embrace the unusual knowledge you have, Jelly Bean, because you have that hunger for that unusual knowledge for a reason. Is that everything? Oh, I'm sorry. maybe start with journaling about that unusual knowledge for a bit. Maybe you are a content creator, you don't know what kind of content to make with that unusual knowledge. Just journal about some things. Within 45 minutes of journaling, I think it's going to take less, within 15 minutes, I think you're going to have a better idea of oh, actually, that's a really good video idea. Or, oh, actually, that's a really good point. I could use this instead of that in this art project, or I could dip my toes into this medium, even though I haven't really tried it before, but I have a background in whatever. Journaling about this is really going to help you kind of figure out what your next steps are, and expressing this unusual knowledge and sharing it. Yeah, it's also going to really help kind of heal your attention span. We might have some people here who got a little bit too caught up in some scrolling, or you just feel like your attention span just it's rough. It's rough out there right now, you know what I mean, Jelly Bean? This is gonna help you, not only the journaling about this weird knowledge you got, the journaling for sure, that's gonna help you focus in, because you have something, you might think oh, I can think about it just fine and I don't have to journal it, but having something physical you're writing down while you're using your noggin, it's really going to help you stay present and focused, so you don't kind of wander about. It's also really, I think, going to help, like I said before, if we have content creators here. It's a very specific scenario. I'm sorry, it's so specific. All y'all got different things going on, so example though, if you're a content creator, and you've been having a hard time coming up with these ideas, I think the journaling is really going to help. Just journaling about what you've been thinking about that day, some thoughts, some things you just I think that's going to help you create content and plan content. Again, this is not just for content creators. We have some artists here. We have some of y'all have some kind of project you're working on with a group of people, and I think kind of writing about it is going to help you feel a little bit more. Oh, we have some Cancers up in here. Phoenix. Oh yeah, okay, I'm sorry if you didn't want me to tell you to journal today, but you should probably journal a bit. We also have sacred space. Make your space sacred for yourself, just like that mind space. Maybe you have a bit of physical clutter around that you can kind of clean up. Maybe you have some things that you're not really using anymore, that don't really make you happy when you look at them anymore, and you're ready to pass them along. Maybe get a little box ready for yourself before you go to that thrift store. Pass out that thrift karma, okay, because you're going to be picking up something good there too. Mundane to the eyes, not of my own, these sacred responsibilities are mine to embrace. Kind of adding more of a sacred ritual to your everyday tasks to make them feel less mundane. Sweeping out all this stale energy, so I got space for some brand new ideas. And so I have a nice, cozy, clean space, and when I walk across my floors, my feet don't get seasoned, and then I get overstimulated and upset, so I curl up in a blanket and scroll on my phone for hours. Okay, make your space sacred and comfortable to you. And add in some magical intention there also. Why not? Why not? Sweet dreams, Jelly Bean. I hope they're full of all your favorite things, and I'm really excited for you to start journaling about whatever this unusual knowledge you got. What is this unusual knowledge? I'm so curious, because I think we got some little freaks up in here. Sweet dreams.